What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Artistic Genius, and we are back with Say Word Wednesdays, Couch Conversations, episode 7, with your boy, Nick Lane, the poet Nick Lane.
Poet Nick Lane, DeKeo.
Should we do it again?
Nah.
Okay, bloopers, okay? I'm putting this clip in there.
All
right. So, let's talk, brother.
Yes,
Let's talk. First time on the couch, let's get to it. So, can you give a brief introduction and tell the people who you are? You can look at the camera when you say this.
Yes, so I'm DeKeo, also known as the Poet Nick Lane, or the Poet Nick Lane, also known as DeKeo. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, born and raised. I currently live in Akron right now. I graduated from Cleveland State with my degree in social work.
Let's go.
And I've been doing poetry since 8th grade. I met Artistic maybe like 2 years.
Where did we meet at?
Our first time meeting, and like you really didn't know it, is at a poetry slam we had in Cleveland.
Temples.
Yeah.
You had short hair.
Yeah, I did. My locks was not really locking, but.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember that day. But we didn't actually like meet, like we didn't shake hands or nothing like that. It was just like, it was on some like, you my opponent.
Yeah, for real. And man, the poem, you was killing it. You was fire.
Yeah, but that's the day I forgot it.
Man, listen, as you was doing your poem, me and two of the other poets, we were in the back like, oh snap, because we knew it was gonna come down to like us. But then as we heard you, we was like holding our breath, and when you messed up, we was like, oh snap. Unfortunately, we was kind of hating.
Yeah, I was hating. I felt that hate a little bit. I'm like, they hating.
But like that just goes to show like how powerful you was, because we was like, oh my God. If she would have got that poem done, would have been a wrap.
I think I know who you talking about too, the other person. He had glasses. He
Yes.
fired though, and
Yeah.
I've been looking for him. I can't find him. So if you seeing this, you had glasses, you got that deep voice.
Yeah,
What is his
I don't
name?
remember.
I'm gonna find him. The real something poet.
Yes. Oh my God, I know exactly who you're talking about. I can find him now.
Okay, because I would love to have him featured because I love his style of poetry. I love his voice. Like he's super dope.
Yeah, he's like very comedic.
Yeah.
But like, it's still like really good.
You can tell he's from that like old school like.
Yeah, very.
Okay.
Very.
Yeah.
His punchlines is very punchliney.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, okay. Well, listen, at that point, I think we like got reintroduced. Maybe when you came to Say Word.
Yeah, I think
you just came here just to come to the event because after that, I don't remember seeing you anywhere else for real.
Nah, and then after that, I think we went to Philly together.
Right. Yep. And then
it's been on ever since.
Yep. Went from a hater to like that.
Haters to family now.
No, for real. Okay, so like let's talk about like you talked about when you started doing poetry, when it came about. So like when was your first? Actually, let's talk a little bit about what inspired you to write poetry.
Man, so back when I was in middle school in 8th grade, I started listening to Jill Scott. Like my mom had like a lot of like a big old CD case, and she just collected CDs. And man, I was just looking for some new music to listen to, and I started listening to Jill Scott, and I was like, dang, man, that sound nice. But I liked the way her music made me feel, and I was just like, man, she ain't even. I didn't really look at the album I was listening to as like an album for real. I was looking at it like poetry because. She was talking a lot on a lot of her songs, and I thought that was fire. And man, one day I just tried it for myself. I had a little notebook and I just started writing. And admittedly, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was trying to
You was trying to get the girls.
Yeah, I was look, listen.
Get the girls.
In 8th grade, my mind was in one spot, and I was trying to have phone sex. And this was right when like cell phones and stuff was like invented too. So I was using my mom's cell phone.
Okay. Flip phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, where you had where like it was ABC.
Right. You could only text a few things.
So that's where it started. And then when I got into high school, I kind of did a little bit more meaningful poems, but I mean I wasn't really thinking about it like that.
Right.
And that's when I started to go to like poetry events, and I got inspired by other people there. I'm like, dang, my poetry don't sound nothing like that. And then when I got in college, that's when I started taking it like really serious, and it was more fulfilling, and I started writing meaningful poems. Man, I think I always say that like my first real poem was this poem called Black Woman, and I wrote about the significance of Black women and how I viewed them and how special they were. And I did that poem for like a year straight, nothing else.
Right. It be like that sometimes.
Yeah, and ever since then, man, I just been developing my poetry. It's been evolving as I evolve into a different person. I've kind of like reinvented my style of poetry and reinvented myself, because for a long time, I was just known as the poet that did erotic poetry. And at first, like that was cool, because the poetry spot that I went to, a lot of people went there and they did that. But as I got into different spaces, there wasn't much room for that.
You realize it didn't work.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm like,
read
hold
the
up.
room.
I don't got no poems.
You got the church ladies in there.
Exactly. I'm like, dang. I remember, man. I did an erotic poem at a venue that wasn't really for that, and I just felt so bad. I'm like, okay, this is where I gotta switch it up. It gotta change. I have to change. I have to evolve. And yeah, man, that's just what it's been.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, the evolution, because I think that we all stay, like, sometimes it's out of comfort and fear, like where you stay in the pocket with certain pieces because you're used to doing that. Like, you used to do erotic pieces a lot, and I stayed with like just painful, like hurtful pieces all the time. Like, so I had to get out of that and grow into writing different pieces that connect with my audience a little bit more versus just like all of my hurt, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get that. When did your first feature come about, and like where was it?
My first feature was in I think it was Akron, and I want to say it might have been for Versified Expressions, because I met a guy out there. His name Ant Amplify Evans.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out to Ant, man. He hosts poetry night every Tuesday out in Akron. He's been doing that for a long time. He was the first person that I really got connected with, and I really had the opportunity to grow my name out in Akron as far as a poet and an artist. I did some short, some small there. I don't really remember the details of it because it was just so long ago. But once I did that, man, it was just on from there. And I didn't really realize no. Actually, I had my first feature at the University of Akron.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's where I started off going to school from. Going to school at. I had my first feature there, and I did like 3 or 4 different poems, and that's how I really started growing my name. I grew my name a little bit on campus. Like the student body kind of knew me and was familiar with me. Man, I did this event. It was called the Alpha Apollo. It was like
that's dope.
Yeah, it was like a talent show for the Alphas. And I did poetry. I was like the only one doing poetry there. Everybody else there doing like skits and they singing and they rapping and they doing other stuff. But I mean, I did a poem called Boy Blue, and I
like, that's one of my favorite pieces.
No. So like the poem you're talking about and the poem that I did is different.
Oh, okay.
But like it's similar though, and I was not expecting to win, but man, the feeling, the euphoric feeling of winning out of everybody that did everything else other than poetry there was very satisfying.
Yeah, that's dope. And you know, Akron reminds me a lot of Youngstown. There's not a big poetry scene, but there's like, I feel like it's more up and coming now than it was probably when you was in undergrad. You know what I'm saying? It's just little small pockets of like communities, but it's not as obviously as big as Cleveland or
yeah,
I guess Columbus right now.
Yeah, it is.
But I think it's growing. Like there's definitely a lot more events happening now.
Yeah. Especially there are there's still like not a whole bunch of like poetry platforms. But there are more events happening for artists to be in different spaces and for us to be recognized. Whether you're singing or doing poetry, like House 330,
right?
Amps is still doing stuff.
Exposure is doing something as well.
Exposure, Poetry Lane, and yeah, it's growing, like you said.
So since you already just said something about Poetry Lane, let's talk about that a little bit. What is
Okay.
Poetry Lane?
Poetry Lane is an open mic experience that I've created just recently. I've had the idea for years though, but I'm always making up an excuse of why I can't do it or why I shouldn't do it. And man, one day the opportunity presented itself, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna take the opportunity to do it. I don't have much to do it, but I'm gonna do it. Poetry Lane is not only an open mic, but also a social media presence as well. For eventually, I would like to have an interview artist similar to this, but when I interview artists, I would like to ask very specific questions about themselves, about their upbringing, and about them as an artist. And I want to just expose people to the artist and expose the artist to like a broader following.
Right.
Right now, it's a unique open mic for anybody that's trying to find their lane, whether it's you're an avid poet enthusiast or a listener. There's always a lane for you at Poetry Lane. I don't know.
I love that though, because you could just like switch that up any way you want.
I'm still working on the slogan and stuff.
I love that though. I think we need more poetry spaces, and we need more people who have the right intentionality and genuineness to lead them as well. So I feel like a lot of times people don't step out and do it because of fear, and it's like you feel like you have to have it all together, but sometimes you just need the idea and the execution of it. And then once you put that into action, like I always say that if you build the space, people will come.
See, and that's one of my biggest fears, I guess, with this. I have the fear that I'm going to have the space or build a space, and I won't have anybody to show up. And I know like sometimes that happens, but I am afraid that sometimes people are not going to show up for me.
You know why I'm laughing? Because you're a therapist, you know. I just got my social work degree, so I'm about to therapize you. You know where that comes from? That's the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
And that's childhood wounds, because it's like, whether we wasn't picked for something when we was young, or we was told the idea was stupid or whatever, we carry that. And instead of like moving on faith and like actually believing, like, or saying out of our mouth, man, this about to be dope, people are gonna come. Like, instead we just have that fear of like, dang, like, I don't know, what if they don't come? And it's just like this bad embarrassment or like, you know, rejection feeling. And it's like, when you do it with the right heart, I believe that it's gonna happen regardless. Like, everything you need, every resource you need is gonna be provided to you, as long as you're doing it with the right mind.
And I'm learning. Yeah, and I'm learning as I'm going that you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have good numbers, you're gonna have bad numbers. But you know, for like you said, doing it with the right heart. It's never about like the numbers or anything like that. Like I'm genuinely doing it for the community, doing it for people. To have other things to do within the community and within the city, whether I have it in Akron, whether I have it in Cleveland, Columbus, or Dayton. You know, Poetry Lane isn't exclusive to just one area or one venue. I want to build community. And sometimes, sometimes I overthink. Like even if and or when people do come, I still think like, dang, man, I hope people enjoy it like how I want them to enjoy it, and I hope they see the vision like how I'm seeing it. And even if they don't see the vision, I still want people to enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and they will. And it's all about your consistency. As long as you stick with it, it's going to happen the way that you envision it to happen. So let's talk about some inspiration and influence. Like, who are some artists or writers that have, or poets who inspired you?
This is the part where I kind of sometimes feel embarrassed, because as passionate as I am about poetry, I don't know a whole bunch of artists, like at least by name, outside of Maya Angelou or.
And they don't have to be famous or anything. They could be like in your circle, outside of your circle, or just people that you've seen, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say some poets that have inspired me. Paul Laurence Dunbar, I like a lot of his poetry. There's a young lady out in Cleveland. Her name is Tori. Man, she's really
Tori, shout out to Tori.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
If you're seeing this, man, I love your poetry.
Yeah,
she's definitely inspired me in some ways. young lady named Morgan Page.
Shout out to Morgan.
Love her poetry. Ephraim Nehemiah.
Shout out to Ephraim. Yeah, heavy hitters.
My guy Khalil. A friend of mine, his name Quiet Kid, man. They're all there's a lot of dope poets that I've heard that I've derived my inspiration from. Right now are a lot of them in Cleveland.
That you can listen to and be like, dang, I want to go write.
Yeah. My homegirl, man, her name Artistic Genius. I don't know if y'all know her or not.
Stop.
Her poetry is fire too.
Cut it out. You silly. All right. Okay, so when we talk about writing, like what does your creative process look like? Because everybody's is different. And, you know, with me, I get inspired sometimes in the middle of the night. I lose sleep. I wake up and I have like certain words that I'm like trying to remember, and I'm always saying it in my head so I can hurry up and write it down, like so I don't lose it. So a lot of my inspiration or process comes from just like random thoughts, but also being inspired by other people's experiences too. So
a lot of my inspiration, just like you, a lot of my inspiration comes to me randomly. So I have a whole poetry notes section where I just jot down the notes because I know if I don't do it, I'm gonna forget it. I pull a lot of my inspiration from experiences. Even when I was like really into erotic poetry, that came from experience, and I didn't really realize, that I was writing from experience until I started thinking intentionally about my experiences. My experiences come from my college experiences, being academically dismissed a lot, homelessness, the things that me and my mom went through, childhood trauma, like real life things that I personally went through or I know that other people went through. But when I write, I don't necessarily like to expose or say exactly what I'm writing about or like where the inspiration is coming from. I like the listener or the audience to kind of
interpretation.
It's leave it up to their interpretation and infer, because sometimes the poem is layered with things, and I want people to understand it and feel and know all of the spaces and places that I'm writing from.
That's good. I love that. So when we talk about your younger self and things that you experienced, but if you could write a poem to your younger self, what would the title be and why?
Dang, man. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Let's hear it.
Repeat the question one more time.
So if you could write a poem to your younger self, what would you title it and why?
Ooh.
Little baby Nick. Little baby Nicholas.
I would title it, man, I have so many Don't Give Up, or Just You Wait, or
ooh, I like that one.
It Gets Better. Decisions. I would title it that because I feel as though I've lived my life as if I have to just persevere all the time, 24/7 through everything, and now as an adult, man, as I'm, in my early 30s, it's just tiresome. I'm just like, dang, man, do I, God, do I got to be your strongest soldier all the
Right,
time?
and hello.
And I feel like I can see where. Or how the life that I live now is based on the decisions that I made 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And I often just think back all the time and reimagine how much things would just be so different had I made different decisions and more sound choices. And I used to blame a lot of that on maybe like how I grew up, how I was raised, not having the right mentorship or male role models in my life, or childhood upbringing. So a lot of times I just wish I just made different decisions so bad, different choices so bad, because maybe I'll be living a different life.
Do you feel like you are going to be able to get to a place of where you've made peace with those decisions, even though you can't change them?
Yes, absolutely. I, I think I ponder on that so much because I fantasize about it, and I fantasize about it because I can see where I'm going or how I need to get to where I'm going, and as I have grown to be much more aware, now that I know that a lot of the things that we have and don't have are based on the decisions that we do and or didn't make. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. Now I know that maybe making smarter decisions, making wiser choices, will land me in better positions, and reaping fruit from better made or sound or more sound choices and decisions makes me feel better about myself. It makes me feel good, knowing that I did something correctly, or knowing that maybe I didn't do something right, but I learned from it and now I'm correcting it once I have the opportunity to do it again.
That's good. Okay. Okay, so we're coming down to the last couple questions. So let's talk about identity and impact. Like, how do you want your art or poetry to be perceived by people? We kind of talked about that a little bit, but if you have anything else to add to that.
Yeah, I want people to perceive everything that I have to say as some type of lesson. Whether I'm talking about a lesson that I learned, or whether I'm storytelling about it, I would like people to be able to connect with it in some type of capacity. Whether it's something that you can apply to your life, or whether it's something that you can say, dang, you know what, I've been through that too, or I can attest to that too, or dang, that happened to me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I feel like a lot of times we go through things that's sometimes too embarrassing to talk about. But as soon as you know that somebody else went through the same thing, you be like, dang, listen, I thought I was the only one. That happened to me too. And it's reassuring that like you ain't the only one in it. So I want people to perceive my art as healing, as it's healing.
That's good. I get that. Do you have any goals with your poetry, or how far you want to take it? Like, I know Poetry Lane, you are cultivating that space, but for you as a poet yourself, do you have any goals that you want to obtain, like, as a poet?
As I step into things more, I'm like my goals are changing because I'm realizing that I'm actually capable of doing things that I didn't even think I was capable of doing. I didn't really think I was capable of starting my own poetry platform. I thought that it might take too much, but when you're passionate about it, man, it don't take anything at all.
Right.
I would like to write books, both children's books and adult books. I would like to feature in more places. I would like to spread what I have to say out more to people that are in different cities and states. I would like the people to hear me more, see me more, and I would like to create more spaces and be in more spaces for people that desire to speak or to listen and to indulge in poetry or creative writing, or just the artistry that we're in.
Yeah, so y'all heard him. So book him. Make sure you go to his page
Yeah, man.
and book him for your next event.
The Poet _ Nick Lane, or just type in Deckio, Deckio.
Are there any specific obstacles that you want to talk about briefly that you faced along your artist journey? Like anything that you felt like was holding you back from pursuing your dreams?
Yeah, I would say maybe like 3 to 4 things. The first thing was myself. Like I just said, thinking that I'm not capable of doing something that I actually am capable of doing. But when you put yourself out there and you actually say the things that you might think is too embarrassing to say, the fruit of that is people coming up to you or people coming up to me and be like, yo, I really enjoyed what you had to say, man. Like I resonated with that. That's fulfilling. That helped me step out of the lane of just only doing one type of
work.
Yeah, like just like I had to really move away from just only doing erotic poetry. That not being afraid to travel. Like at first, man, I was kind of scared to like go to a different city. Don't nobody know me in this city, man.
Right.
So like, is anybody gonna really like me? Overthinking. And then like now as I'm stepping into not only being an artist, but like creating, learning business, learning what is good and bad business, or learning the ins and outs of how to create a platform, and who to reach out to, who to talk to, and just using my discernment and not second guessing that.
That's good. Lastly, we're going to close with this. If you could say an inspiring word to a poet. Now, let me say that again. Lastly, we're going to close out with this. If you could say a word to an inspiring poet or give some advice, what would that be? And you can tell them right there. You can talk to the people.
Some inspiring words or advice.
Yeah,
man.
somebody, yeah.
If you are a up-and-coming artist or poet, or you just now starting off in poetry, or you just now starting off with your career in maybe singing, or you're a rapper, or even if you're somebody that may have fell off, if it's something that you're passionate about, do it. Don't wait. There's I promise you, man, there's somebody out there that not only wants but need to hear what you have to say. You almost have an obligation to tell your story.
Yeah.
You almost have an obligation to let your experiences be known, so other people can know how to navigate through it. Even if the way you navigated through it might not work specifically for the person that is also navigating through a similar story, or similar theme, still tell your story. Even that's therapeutic, and like just doing it is very helpful. It's very therapeutic. It's very healing, and somebody wants to hear you. So just do it. Just do it.
Y'all heard him. All right, that was Couch Conversations with the poet Nick Lane, or Dikio. Okay, make sure y'all follow him at
the poet. My bad.
No,
the
good.
poet _ Nick Lane, or just type in Dikio, DECKIO. That's on all platforms.
All right, y'all. Make sure y'all follow us at Say Word Wednesdays, and also click the link in the bio to watch all of the Couch Conversations episodes. We are on YouTube. All right, we out. Appreciate you, brother.
Say word.
I'm proud of you.